In this section, we are going to understand and we are going to create the assemblies for our intersection. So in terms of assemblies, there are several assemblies we have to make. So if I come here, this is our intersection area. So we have to create an assembly for this area, and we have the main road area. In the main road area, we should have two assemblies at least, because if you consider here, up to this point, from this way up to this point, we have a full width assembly. After that one, in this region, we don't have a full width assembly, because the right side part is inside the close to the intersection. So right side part should be trimmed on the main road, and left side will be going as normal. After the intersection area, again the full width comes. If you consider the secondary road up to this point, that means up to the intersection point, up to the start of the intersection area, we have the full width. So we have to create several assemblies to get this done. Since my main road and secondary road lane widths are similar, I can create one full width assembly. But if you have different lane widths on main road and secondary road, you have to create different assemblies. So we will start creating assemblies. So I'll create the assembly somewhere here. So I'm going to assemblies here, click create assembly, and my assembly name, I will type full width assembly here. So I don't need to type main road, because we are creating one assembly for main road and secondary road both. So if you like, you can add a description. What is this full width assembly means? What are the lane widths? What are the thicknesses, like that. So I'll click OK here. Then it is asking me to select a location. I select a location close to my previous assembly. Now I am going to add several parts to this one. That means lanes, curb returns, and footwalks. So I go to tool palette on home tab. Then I go to lanes tab. From here I go to lanes tab, lane super elevation AOR. This time I will fill all these values here. So I'll click here. My lane width is 4 meters. My default slope is -2.5. My pave 1 depth, I'll set it to 50 millimeter. That means 0.05. Pave 2 also 50 millimeter. Base depth 200 millimeters. That means 0.2 meter. And sub base test I'll accept as 300 millimeters. I am not going to use super elevation. If you have super elevation, you can set it here. Potential pivot, no. And inside point code crown, outside point code edge of pavement. Now all these sets are completed. So if we are going to add to the right side, so what we do is we go to close to the assembly. I'll click somewhere down here. Now it will attach my assembly to the right side. So without changing anything here, I'll click again at the bottom. So you will get the left side as well. That's a simple trick to get these things done very quickly. I'll press escape now. Now I am going to add a curb return here. So I add this curb return from the curbs tab, and I'll get curb and gutter general, and I will attach it to this top part. I am not going to change any parameters here. I'll attach to the top part, and again I will attach to the top part of the left as well. Then I press escape. Then I go to in the same tab, I am going to urban sidewalk to add a sidewalk. So I'll click here to add that sidewalk, and click here again to add that sidewalk as well. Right. So that is completed. So then we are going to add daylight as cut and fill slopes. So I go to this daylight tab, and I'll select daylight bench. So I'm not going to change any parameters, but if you like, you can change the parameters as you wish. So I'll click here and click here. So now our assembly is very much completed. I'll press escape and close this tool palette as well. Now I am going to change the names of these sub-assemblies to get a very clear understanding what is happening in each assembly. So I'll click here. I go to assembly. So my full width assembly, then I go to construction tab. So in this way you can update them straight away everything. So for the lane, this is right side, I'll type lane R. So this one curb and gutter R, urban sidewalk R, for right side daylight bench R. So in the similar manner I'll change the left side, lane L, curb and gutter L, urban sidewalk L, and daylight bench L. You have to click here once, it will show you the renaming option, so you can rename them easily. Now everything is done, I click OK. So this is my full width assembly for main road and side road. So if you have different type of main road and side road, that means if let us say in main road you only have footwalk, but in the side road you don't have footwalk, so in that case you have to have different kind of assemblies for this. So if in that case you have to create different assemblies. That's something you have to remember. Now we have this full width assembly. Next I am going to create this mid block assembly, or we call the mid block, in the mid area of the junction. So in the mid block assembly we don't have this right side curb and gutter and footwalk area because it is inside the intersection. So what we do is we are getting a copy of this assembly. To do that I am going to the home tab, copy here, then I am selecting this bottom part of the assembly, then right click, then it is asking for a base point. I am selecting this lower point as my base point, then I drag it somewhere here and I am getting a copy of that assembly. Then I'll press escape. So in that assembly, what is the difference? The difference is we don't have this footwork and everything on the right side. So what we do is we'll select these parts and press delete. Then our mid block assembly is completed, but I'll go to rename this assembly. I'll click here, go to assembly properties. So this time it is mid block assembly. Block assembly and click OK. Then we have to create the curb return assembly this way or this way. So earlier I said we are creating the curb return in the same direction. Like if you get this curb return into this direction, that means turning anti-clockwise, this should also be created as anti-clockwise. So in that way you can have one assembly, because if this going in this direction, so the assembly should be on the right side, the lane assembly. So if you go, if one is going this way, in the same manner it will have the assembly on the right side. Otherwise, if this is going on this way, you have to have another assembly on the left side. So that means you have to have two assemblies, but in this manner you will only have one assembly. Right. So now I am going to get a copy of this assembly to create that one. So I go to here, copy here, base point here, and come here and click that one. So in that assembly you have to spot the difference here. So let us we know that this is going from this way to this way, so your right side there would be a lane, so which connects to the main road, and this secondary road and main road area. On the left side we don't have any lane part, but we have the curb and gutter and the footwalk. But on the right side we have only the lane, no curb and gutter or footwalks. So you know what, now my right side is okay because it is already having a lane, but on the left side we have a lane, we don't want that lane. So what we do is we will click here and delete this lane. So now our curb and gutter comes to the center line or base point and connect with this lane. Now this is similar to the assembly what we want. So what we do is now click this one and go to assembly properties, and I will change this assembly name curb and curb return assembly. Let us say curb return assembly. So I'll click OK. So now we have all the assemblies we needed for the corridor. So it is now perfect. Next we are going to create the intersection corridor.